tired of the secrets. I'm tired of the silence. I'm tired of having no control. I just want to wake up from this nightmare. But it won't end. I am alone. I am hurt. I am a disgrace. I don't belong. My life is a lie.
When I found out I was pregnant, I simply scheduled an appointment with the doctor. No tears, no whining or fussing, just did it. I found out I was carrying a baby girl. I desired my first child to be a girl. For most of my pregnancy, I suspected that I was having a girl. One of those intuitions that are usually right. It would be harder for me to give away a daughter. What if I never had another girl?
Unlike most women, I never thought about how many kids I would have. I never thought about my wedding or getting married. I figured it would all happen in its own time, in its own way. Well, I got married at 36. I cried buckets of tears while I was trying to conceive. And I still have rare moments when I remember that feeling, but they are very fleeting. I have been pregnant, seen the ultrasound pictures, begun to prepare nursery, and then miscarried. Far along enough that I screamed in pain for hours in the middle of the night as I felt my baby tearing away from my body. Everyone said I would get pregnant again, but I never did, despite 3 years of infertility treatments and 2 failed in vitro cycles. I still have that ultrasound picture. It is the only life my husband and I ever created together. I never fantasize about being pregnant anymore.
A so-called Christian friend of mine raped me. It's taken me a long time to actually say the word rape. Usually I just say that he forced it, or he took what wasn't his, or I simply say that it wasn't my choice. I'm not comfortable with being that girl that was raped, because that isn't the focus of my story. Yes, it happened, but I'm over it. The only reason I bring it up now is because it is important to me that it is understood that I wasn't just sleeping around. I'm not a birth mom stereotype. Maybe 4 or 5 weeks after it happened, I found out that I was pregnant. I just sat there as the doctor told me. I remember her face and how I felt. I knew that I was pregnant long before that, but it was hard to acknowledge it when that was the last thing that I wanted. The doctor simply confirmed my worst fear.
One of the most valuable things someone ever said to me is that adoption is not a cure for infertility. What that meant for me was that I had to fully mourn my infertility so I could come to adoption not as a second best, but with a real excitement about raising a child I was not biologically related to. That process took a while for me, but I'm so glad we waited a while after the infertility treatments before starting our new journey. Keep in mind, this is my experience, and it might not be what everyone needs, but is what I needed. Once I truly let go of the dream of a biological child, I felt much freer about the type of child I would want to adopt.
As I left the doctor's office, the only coherent thought that I had was, the jerk who did this needed to know. I hadn't talked to him since it happened, but he needed to know I was pregnant so he wasn't surprised when he was served with adoption papers. So, pissed off and broken, I went to meet with him. Needless to say, he was shocked and not happy. He asked me to have an abortion. Actually, he asked if I considered getting rid of it or making it go away. He couldn't even bring himself to say abortion. He knew abortion was wrong and he was just thinking of himself. 3 times he asked and 3 times I said no. I finally told him that I would ruin his life if he asked one more time. After all, what did he care what happened? All I needed from him was a signature on the papers when it came time. I never asked for money or for him to take responsibility. Just sign the papers when the time came. Get out of my life.
I could never live in peace if I knew that her birth mom was not sure of her decision. I know my daughter's birth mom has had a lot of pain, and that I can deal with and understand. But I also know that she pursued all options and decided that she was unable to parent.
For a month or 2, I just lived with my secret. I wasn't ready to face the reality that I needed to deal with. I was going to disappoint my parents, my entire church family. So many things were running rampant through my mind. Getting through the day with a smile was near impossible. I wanted to move out of state and deal with my pregnancy in secret. No one would have to know except me. Fortunately, common sense won that argument.
According to our daughter's birth mom, she chose us because we live in the city, are in the arts, and we're too religious. All her words. She also liked that we had a dog, and that my husband likes gardening. She was in high school when she placed, and her whole family was in on the decision process. Her parents liked the fact that we have secure day jobs, which put them at ease in terms of having stability for our child.
It was time for a decision. I agonized for days about which couple I would choose to parent my child. Seriously, this was the hardest part of the process by far. How do you choose someone else to raise your kid? Why would one couple be more worthy than the next? How can you choose to bless one couple and deny another the opportunity for a child? After days of agony and stress, I woke one morning with complete peace. My heart was still and my mind was clear. I have never felt such peace in all my life. I know that God impressed upon me the answer and gave me peace and clarity. It still didn't make my decision easy, but at least I knew the answer. And all we had to do was wait. I signed the papers relinquishing my rights, I got word that the father had also turned in his paperwork, and it stated that he was unfit to parent. I signed the birth certificate and prepared to say goodbye. I watched them walk out of the room with her.
Our agency required us to go through a seminar called Adoption 101 before we did anything else. There we learned about using the correct adoption terminology, about the experiences that birth parents go through in relinquishing, agency requirements and guidelines, different types of adoptions, how our families and friends might react, misconceptions about adoption. After that, we were matched with a counselor who took us through the process and the home study. That counselor talked extensively about our backgrounds, our marriage, and about our experiences healing from infertility, as well as what our comfort level was in adopting a child with certain issues, drug exposed, etc. We adopted through an agency that has been around for many years and has an excellent reputation for counseling and preparing adoptive parents for open adoption, or if the birth mother prefers, a closed adoption, or a spirit of openness in adoption. In 2007, the cost of our adoption was about $26,000, which is a lot of money, but we felt that the support, counseling, and the fact that expectant parents and adoptive parents had separate advocates in the process were all things that attracted us to an agency adoption.
I have lost both sets of parents. Why do I deserve this? There is nothing I can do. I am unwanted. Abortion would have been mercy. I am tired of the lies. I am tired of the secrets. I am tired of the silence. I am tired of having no control. I just want to wake up from this nightmare. But it won't end. I am alone. I am hurt. I am a disgrace. I don't belong. My life is a lie.
Of course, I believe my daughter is the sweetest, smartest, funniest, most beautiful kid ever. But I'm not sure how much I had to do with any of that.
I knew a day would come when I would learn the truth about myself, my past, my history. I knew this day would come and I was ready for it. Or that's what I thought. I thought I'd have a support system, someone I could count on. I was wrong. We had always talked openly about my adoption. Why would they lie? Why would they hide something that rightfully belongs to me? This betrayal of trust is what hurts me the most. Now I'm alone. In having two families, I have none. I can only trust myself. I can never completely be included. I am tired of living a borrowed life, a life for others' benefit. I am now trying to live a life for myself. But it's hard to retrain myself. It's hard to see past the scars, the lies, the bullshit to the real me. But I am trying, even if that means I will remain alone. For now, I am trapped by the confines of my mind. I am trapped by the confines of expectation. I am trapped by the confines of society. I am trapped.
My daughter has recently become clingy again. We adopted her at 10 days old. We thought she had passed through the clingy phase, but seems to have regressed. The difference is that she now knows how to play the mommy card.
I shouldn't hate my mother. She was the one who accepted me, who gave me a home, food, clothes, family. Even for everything she's done to hurt me, she has always been on my side, through thick and thin. I have never hated my birth mom. I've always understood her position, how it was the best thing for her to give me away. But was it the best thing for me? To be ripped from my kin to live someone else's life? Sometimes I feel like a fake. Like it's not real. Everything I have, everything I am is created by them. It's all an illusion. Why didn't she try to keep me? We could have made it work. We're both survivors. Instead, she gave up, gave in, and gave me away. Maybe part of me does hate her for that. Even though I know she did it with the best intentions. Maybe I've been in denial this whole time because I never really thought it affected me. Now I realize it does. There is a reason why I prefer to be alone, why I don't trust people. Because people are unpredictable and selfish. It's not their fault. They're human. But I am tired of living a life so others will accept me and not abandon me. Why do I have this need to be accepted? I don't want to care anymore. I don't want to try. I just want to live a life that's mine. But I think it's too late. As usual, I have no control, no real voice. I'm stuck in this half-life where I'm not even sure my name is my own. I am not who I was at birth. She was lost. Am I nameless? Do I need a name to have a self? Do I need a self to have a soul? I do exist. I have a soul, but I seem lost in limbo while everyone else is living.
I felt tremendous guilt over the adoption of my daughter. So much so that it affected my ability to bond with her at the very beginning. Today, I love my daughter with a ferocity and depth I never imagined was possible when I first met her. I would literally lay down my life for my child. I marvel at every little thing she does. I cannot imagine my life without her. Her birth mom loves her as much as I do, and because of that love, she was able to make the hardest decision a mother could make. To do something that benefited her child while causing her pain. My mother was 14, my father 17. Growing up, I could count the facts I knew about them on one hand. But I always knew I was adopted, and that was an important part of me. What bothered me was that it was a semi-open adoption, which means we could have contact when I was 18, but she could get photos and updates, and I couldn't. I always thought it was unfair. Shouldn't it go both ways? What I didn't know was that my adoptive mother was acting as a filter. My birth mother contacted me when I was 19. I spent the rest of the day crying. I don't really know why, since I always knew this day would happen, and I wanted to know her. It turned out that she had sent a letter when I was 16, asking for us to possibly exchange letters through the agency. I never got that letter. Not when it was sent. Not when I was 18. In fact, my adoptive mother still has not given it to me.
my birth mother thought I hated her, since I never replied.
As an adoptive mom, I often feel an extra layer of responsibility for my child. I worry if something would ever happen to her, like an accident. I would feel double the guilt because her birth family entrusted her to me. I don't feel that they made me feel this way. I want to do a good job because I love her, but also because a whole family is depending on me to be not just a good mom, but a great mom.
It struck me the other day just how much adoption has affected me in almost every way. It continues to be more and more clear to me that adoption has and will affect everything. Not just the day-to-day, not just the relationships I have with family and friends, not just my future family. It affects my thoughts, my emotions, my decisions, my path, my future, the very core of who I am. For the longest time, I was resistant to believing that adoption held any effect upon me at all. I would talk about it casually, as if it held no meaning for me. Adoption, not my daughter, two different things. I would insist that adoption was fine and all was well with me in regards to the subject. It does not affect me in the way that it affects everyone else. Nope, not me. I'm different. Bullshit.
Her name was, his name was, she was 14, he was 17. To put the pieces together is surreal. Things that I didn't even imagine being genetic are. Interests, hobbies. It's like being born again. I'm a new person. No, not new. Improved. Improved, but not close to complete.
I hate being stuck into a category. Being treated in a certain way based on someone's perception of who you are as a result of the reference group they place you in gets so old. I am so disgusted by the way birth parents are stereotyped and categorized by people who will never understand. They treat us all as anti-adoption, adoptive parent haters who would be thrilled if adoption ceased to exist and infertile people around the world were denied a child. Just forget the fact that we are each individuals attempting to forge our own opinions and views based on our unique experiences. We are all the same. We talk the same. Heck, we probably even dress the same. We are the frickin' Borg living in our collective society. So here's what I know now at this time, as clear-cut as I can make it. Adoption is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Adoption is not as necessary as people like to believe. There are times when I question my decision, yet I believe it was fate. It may have been fate, but I still have a right to be sad, to grieve, to question, to disagree, to act, and to reform. I am not like every other birth parent, and they are not like me. We are each individuals who think for ourselves and not as a collective. We should be treated as the unique individuals we are.
We've really been bonding lately, and I think we're making positive progress toward a healthy relationship. I do get overly anxious when she doesn't write back right away, but I have to remind myself that this is just as difficult and emotional for her as it is for me. Sometimes I wonder why I opened Pandora's box. I don't regret it, but it's tough. I go through a million emotions a day. Excitement, love, anger, confusion. There is just so much I don't know. So many possibilities. This feels so real and natural. But it feels surreal and foreign, too.
Lately, I've realized that I survived pregnancy and relinquishment by the power of denial. Loads of it. It's been my security blanket for over 20 years now. I've tried to write about it, but words don't come so easy. It's difficult to convey what's on my mind without giving the wrong idea. My mind is a jumble. I think I'm going through another period of grieving.
What is the point of life? Why should I care who raises me? Why should I care about my birth parents? Why should I worry myself sick about what people think or what might happen? I have so little control in this world, and yet I'm always trying to get a hold of it, to have power, to have influence, to make a difference, to matter. What for? Is there some sort of God to reward me, some sort of nirvana to be achieved? Peace of mind that I tried? Or is it a joke? Am I only fooling myself? Perhaps it doesn't matter. Perhaps no one cares. Perhaps I don't matter. Would life have been different if she kept me? Would life have been different if I had been an abortion? Would life have been different with another family? Or does it even matter? Am I an individual who stands alone with some purpose? Or am I insignificant? I had a nervous breakdown the other day. A real one. It was pretty bad. Ever since then, I've just felt really defeated. I want to cry all the time. I think I've fallen back into my depressive tendencies. I've been having suicidal thoughts again. Nothing major. More in the sense that I've just given up. I had to let my adoptive mom into the loop a little. She doesn't know the whole story, but I just really needed her support. I feel bad not telling her everything, but I just can't lose her. I've been talking to my birth mom, and she's very supportive. But I feel bad bringing her into the drama that is my life. But it's like we're two broken souls clinging to each other for support. It brings us closer together, an immediate bond. But I never thought this is how it would be. I'm eating less. I'm sleeping less too. My brain won't shut off. But at the same time, I just want to shut off. I just want to lay in the dark, crying, sleeping, dreaming. I want to be in my mother's arms again, safe and taken care of. I know I am loved. I know I have support. But I feel so alone and tired. I have no idea what's keeping me going. It must be God's sick joke. I just want it to be over.
Last Sunday, I was tired and emotional and was surrounded by people discussing pregnancy and their experiences. I never really know whether or not to participate in those conversations. Later, in that same conversation, a close family friend decided to tell me that I was brave. I about started crying due to the inaccuracy of that comment, and the fact that I was emotional already. And the same person later made a comment that little babies grunt, and I made a statement agreeing with her. She looked at me and said, "Yes, you know, don't you?" I started tearing up. Jeez. Needless to say, Sunday was not a great day.
All I want to do is sleep. But I can't. When I'm awake, all I want to do is cry. I can't hold it in anymore. Why do I care so much about a world that doesn't matter? A world that I hate? I wish I was dead. I wish I would be put out of my misery. Sometimes I wonder if I'm suicidal or I just wish I was. If I really were, I would have been dead years ago. I've been in pain since I was born. Were there ever happy times, not just moments of blissful denial? What is the point of life? Why must I suffer so consistently? I have no reserves. I truly believe I was meant to die. I should have been an abortion. I'm trapped in a world of pain. I want to get fatally ill. I want to be relieved of all this pain. Don't preach to me of healing, of talking about it. It doesn't matter. No one cares. But I keep trucking along each day harder than the last. When will it end? I'm cursed. I truly believe that the women in my family are cursed. I am tired of trying. I am tired of the facade. I barely sleep anymore, but somehow I still thrive. My homework still gets done. I'm a survivor. And that makes me sick. I don't want to survive. I wasn't meant to survive.
I'm tired. I'm done. Emotionally, I'm simply worn out.
Adoption was my destination. I understand my journey.
I can analyze, scrutinize, and evaluate the circumstances of my situation until I can barely breathe. But in the end, what's done is done. There's no changing it, regardless of what the deciding factors were at the time. So why torture myself? It's all a game of what if.
Along the journey, I did not understand why we had so many disappointments. But I do now. If I did not follow my exact path, I would not have my wonderful daughter. Adoption was my destination. My child was not born to me physically, but she was born in my heart. She is my everything. I understand my journey, accept it, and am a mom at last.
What is family? It's easy enough to map out, like puzzle pieces. But how much does it really count? Genetic versus environment, or neither? Will I ever belong? Do I have a solid identity, or am I a ghost of a person? Sometimes I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle, trying to swim upstream. Why? Am I merely trying to keep control? To prove I can survive? But to prove to whom? Why can't I just be swept away? I just want to run, but I can't bring myself to run. For some reason, I am tied to this life. I trick myself into priding myself on small achievements, enjoying a rare occasion. But at night, when I see the big picture, I hate it all. I don't want tomorrow to come. I don't want to live this forced life that I did not choose. I want out. I want to escape. Why can't I? Because I'm a survivor. I am meant to survive. I will survive.